Hello students, hope you all are doing well. Today we are moving with a new lesson, desert animals. Take page number 112. What is a desert? You all know, is it? Approximately 1/3 of the Earth's land surface is desert. It's a land with mere rainfall that supports only sparse vegetation and limited population of people and animals. It is a region of sand or vast area of rocks and gravel peppered with occasional plants, but deserts are always dry. And deserts are natural laboratories in which to study the interaction of wind and sometimes water on the surface of planets. They contain valuable mineral deposits that were formed in the environment or that were exposed by erosion. When we talk about deserts in India, we have the very famous the Thar Desert, known as Great Indian Desert. Then we have a desert in Gujarat, Rajasthan. Then we have a cold desert in Ladakh, Himalayas. Then Spiti Valley. All these are some of the famous deserts in India. Now, in these deserts, we can see that there are some animals who used to live. So this lesson is particularly about desert animals. So children, we will move to the topic. Take your textbook. Desert animals. Deserts are the driest place on earth and sometimes go for months or even years without rain. But even the desert animals cannot survive without water or for long periods in the scorching sun. So they have had to find different ways of coping with the harsh conditions. For example, gerbils spend the hottest part of the day in cool underground burrows, and strange insects called darkling beetles are experts at catching drops of moisture on their legs, then lifting them into the air until the drops trickle down into their mouth. Not all deserts are endless seas or rolling sand dunes. Some are rocky or pebbly and dotted with small bushes, while others are sprinkled with colorful flowers during the spring. So children, in this first paragraph, we know that deserts are the place which have less water, is it? And there is no rain even for months and sometimes year. And you can, because of that, you can see that deserts are the driest places on earth. But have you thought about the animals who live there? It's very difficult for them to live without water for a long time, is it? So they have to find out some ways to beat such difficult conditions of atmosphere. And here we have example of gerbil. Gerbil is a mouse-like desert rodent with long hind legs. It's just like a mouse. That's gerbils. So here we can see that gerbils go underground during hot days in their cool burrows. They live in burrows and it's very cool there. So when it is hot time, they'll go there and stay inside the cool burrows. Then darkling beetle is an insect which uses a strange way to beat the heat. They drag drops of moisture from their legs, lift them in the air and drop them into their mouth. So this is how darkling beetle used to get water during hot days. They drag a drop of moisture from their legs and they lift that in the air and very slowly they'll drop that into their mouth. Then all the deserts are not the same, is it? Some are just like hills of sand, and each desert has its own peculiarities. How some are stony and have rugged surface with small bushy plants. And while some deserts we can see they have colorful flowers during the spring season. So scorching means very hot. Then dunes here refers to heaps of sand formed by the wind. Pebbly means stony. Now let's come to the next. There are more than 2,300 different kinds of snakes around the world, ranging from just 15 centimeters long to more than 11 meters. Most snakes are quite harmless, but there are a few that are so poisonous they can kill a human being with just one bite. Most snakes lay eggs, but there are many which give birth to their young. In the dry, rocky deserts of America lives a rather evil-looking snake with a very bad reputation. Its frightening rattle can be heard as far as 30 meters away, and it can strike with lightning speed. So children, we can also see that from this passage we can see that snakes are of different types. And there are about 2,300 types of snakes, and they can range from a very small size around 15 centimeters then to 11 meters. Then most of the snakes are harmless, they don't cause any troubles, but few are very poisonous that with just one bite it can kill anybody. And most of them lay eggs to reproduce, but there are some snakes who give birth to their young ones. We all know that is at American deserts. They are all dry and rocky in nature, and there lives an evil looking snake with a bad reputation. That's very dangerous. Bad reputation here refers to is very dangerous. And one can hear its sharp sound even from a distance of 30 meters. That means rattle means sharp knocking sound. Okay, so that sound of that snake can be heard from a distance of 30 meters. And that snake, it's very fast, and it attacks people with a lightning speed, very fast. Now let's move to the next, third one. But the rattlesnake or rattler, as it is sometimes called, prefers to avoid people if it is possibly can. It holds its tail upright and rattles the end whenever it is disturbed, in the hope that the intruder will go away. However, if its warnings are ignored and it feels threatened, it will coil ready to bite. But the rattler itself cannot hear the noise its own tail makes. Like most snakes, it hears things through vibrations in the ground. If a person walks nearby, the snake can feel the movement, but if the same person were to shout, it would not hear a thing. Rattlesnakes are very common and widespread animals living right across the American continent, from Canada to Argentina. They feed on a variety of prey including mice, wolves, rats, chipmunks, and many other small animals. Rattlesnakes kill their prey with venom. Like all snakes, they swallow the unfortunate animal whole. Few snakes have to eat more than once a week, and some, such as a larger python, can survive for a year or more without eating. So there is another category of snakes, also the rattler or rattlesnake. It always prefers to avoid people as much as it can. But if it is feeling disturbed, what will happen? It holds its tail upright and give a sharp sound so that the intruder means the person who's coming to attack, can move away. We all know that is it. All the animals, even if it's a snake, if it's a bird or any other wild creatures, they'll attack human beings only if they get disturbed. Is that if we are going to create troubles for them, for sure they'll respond. Otherwise, most of the animals, if we are not entering into their habitat, they won't disturb. So here we can also see that rattlesnake is something like that. If people create troubles to them, it will feel angry and it will attack. But if the warnings are not paid attention, what will happen? It will turn around to bite. And the strange thing is that it cannot hear the sound of its tail. The snake itself cannot hear the sound which is produced by its tail. Like other snakes, it's also hear through the waves produced on the ground, vibration. Vibration, the sound. What is a vibration? When we walk, we can feel the vibration from the ground, is it? So snake usually hear through the waves produced on the ground. Means it can feel the vibration but cannot hear the sound. Snake can feel the movement of a walking person but cannot hear his voice. How loud may he shout? If he is shouting, a person is shouting, the snake cannot hear that, but when that person is walking, vibration can be felt from the ground. And rattlesnakes are commonly found in American continent from Canada to Argentina. And what all things they prey? They prey small animals like mice, plants, then rodents. Rodents means just like rat, mice, all these are called as rodents. Squirrels, then porcupines, all these are together called as rodents. Then this rattlesnake use poisonous toxins to kill its prey, its venom. The way other snakes gulp down or eat animals completely. Their eating habits also vary. Some snakes eat more than once a week, and some, like large pythons, can do without eating for a year or more. I said some snakes will swallow the prey completely, while others they'll eat once in a week. Or some pythons, some large pythons, they can survive for a year or more without food. That means they'll take the prey as a whole, so it will take a lot of time to digest, and it can go for a year without food. Now let's go to the next one. Mongoose likes to hunt together, but they always keep a lookout for dangerous predators nearby, poking their noses into holes, overturning rocks with their paws, and scratching the ground with their sharp claws. Banded mongoose are very amusing to watch. A common sight in many parts of Africa, they travel in groups of about 20 to forage for beetles, millipedes, and other small creatures. So here mongoose go hunting in groups, and you know that they always keep a place from where they can watch predators near them. Predators means animals preying on others. And it is interesting to watch them banded, poking their noses into holes, overturning rocks with their paws, and scratching the ground with their sharp claws. So what is it here? These mongoose, they like to hunt together. Then they always keep a place for looking for the predators. They are very cautious at what is happening around. So they always look out for dangerous predators nearby. If some animals are going to attack them or not, they'll just keep watching all the time. Then poking their noses into holes, overturning rocks with their paws, and scratching the ground. So all these are some of the methods by which they search for the food. And it's very amusing and interesting to watch these mongooses walking here and there. In many parts of Africa, you can see these sights. Forage means search for food. They eat beetles, millipedes, and other small creatures. So it's very interesting to watch mongooses. They always hunt together, and the other reason is they are very cautious. They look for other predators. So children, here we come to the end of audio 1. The rest of the part will be there in audio 2. Thank you.